Welcome to the Herd's official YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Colin Cowherd podcast, all of our NFL instant reactions, and more football content.
All right, here we go on a Monday. Colin right, Colin wrong, plenty of both.
Where Colin was right?
I said when Sam Darnold gets drafted, I said he's not Andrew Luck, but he's like 80-85% of Andrew Luck. Tough, athletic, big arm. PFF has him number 1, third in the passer rating. Nobody can work with the Jets. That's Siberia. Aaron Rodgers looked 100 years old with the Jets. Look at him now. The bottom line is Sam Darnold needed a better fit. He's just too damn talented to not make it in this league, and he was 16 for 16 in the first half. I said, he's not Andrew Luck, but his comp is somewhere close to Andrew Luck, and it looks like it.
Where Colin was wrong.
I thought Kansas City was the best team in the league, but it's weird. When these two teams play, I feel like what happened in the game before the game they're playing? 10 times they've met, they're 5-5, gave up 400 yards, could not protect Mahomes. It felt like from the first series on, Buffalo had better energy, better focus, and a better game plan. That's
where
often
Colin
the case.
was right?
Okay, I've been saying this. Stop telling me about the Steelers' defense. Who cares? It's Aaron Rodgers. They can't run the ball. The offensive line pass protection's rated very mid. Everybody wants to tell me about this defense. This team's going as far as Aaron Rodgers is going to take them. 9 different guys caught the ball, tied for third in touchdown passes. I'm telling you, he has not played this well, in my opinion, since his MVP season. He is moving way, way better than he did in New York. This team is Aaron Rodgers. It's not Tomlin. It's not the defense. It's Aaron. And right now he's playing like a top 10 quarterback.
Where Colin was wrong.
I love Matt LaFleur, but this team in Green Bay has no identity, and that's on the coach. They're 5th in rushing attempts, but 24th in yards per carry. They want to run. They're not good at it. And now Tucker Kraft's gone for the year. I always worry about teams, and when they don't have an identity, they've just got a bunch of good players. I mean, they've lost to Cleveland, Carolina, and tied Dallas. This isn't a lack of talent. It's a lack of knowing what they are, and that's hard to create, sometimes harder to maintain, but I do feel like the compass is off, and Green Bay's offense is a little lost right now.
Where Colin was right?
I said this before game 6 and 7. Yoshi is worth every penny because the Dodgers starters, there was a lot of injuries. So he started 35 games this year. Yeah, I think the Dodgers starter, their ace, is worth $325 million. He's an unbelievable talent, 4-0 in the World Series, and everybody gets worked up with all the money the Dodgers have, but their starting pitching this year, I mean, they had injuries everywhere. Glasnow, Snell. So the difference between $35 million, you go 4-0 in a World Series and win back-to-back, he has mostly paid for himself.
Where Colin was right?
Howie Roseman, GM of the Eagles, does it again. He just landed Jalen Phillips from Miami, good edge rusher for a 3rd-round pick. Now he's a pending free agent. If he leaves, they'll get a compensatory 3rd-round pick. So I've said for years, aggressive wins in sports, and everybody's talking about the Philadelphia offense. They're 23rd in sacks. This is what separates Philadelphia from a lot of the Cincinnatis of the world. They are willing. They are on call 365 days a year to make a deal. And this is a deal the day before the deadline, and it solves an issue that nobody's talking about. You better get to Stafford if you want to beat him. You better get to Goff if you want to beat him. Philly's Howie Roseman goes out and makes a deal.
Where Colin was wrong.
I like the Commanders' direction. I had them winning last night. I had them as a playoff team. I keep waiting for the juice, and they don't have it. One of the things that worried me, they're the oldest roster in the league, the opposite of Seattle or Green Bay. Old rosters get beat up. They're just not very good, and they're not deep. I think they're much more in a rebuild than they wanted to admit coming into the season. And I liked them based on the hype, some confirmation bias. They're not a very good team.
Where Colin was right?
I've always loved the Miami Hurricanes, but they're not a national brand. And Mario Cristobal, I said earlier this year, I didn't know. I didn't trust Carson Beck. I didn't know if I trusted him. Mario Cristobal is 4-11 in November and later in Miami. And they lost again this weekend, this time to SMU. Listen, they have a small fan base, no home field advantage. If you're going to win national championships, those late season games playing at home matters. I love watching them play, but Cristobal at Oregon, his teams were wildly inconsistent, often struggled as favorites or near favorites on the road, and this was a clunker.
Where Colin was right.
Finally, the Philadelphia 76ers are 5-1 and not building around Joel Embiid. I think I've been on this for 3 years. You can't build a franchise around an often injured big. Instead, Tyrese Maxey, who J-Mac would confirm, I said it 3 years ago, this guy's going to be a 1. He's averaging 34 a game. VJ Edgecombe, on fire. They are led by their backcourt. And by the way, the Warriors had a pretty good dynasty led by theirs. I never bought into Embiid. He didn't deliver in the playoffs. He was often injured. He struggled even fitting in with the Olympic team. I preached it for years. He can be a great player. He can't be the centerpiece of a championship team. Where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong on a Monday. And with that, it does feel like the Kansas City Chiefs a little wobbly today. Ooh. Denver's now 7-2, and they get 2 home games and a bye. They are on fire in the fourth.
Let's be real, though. Denver got lucky that C.J. Stroud got knocked the hell out. I mean, we didn't even get into it. I thought that was a dirty hit, but Stroud's probably going to be out for a minute. He was down for the count. And then, of course, Davis Mills. Come on, he's not beating the Broncos. But, yeah, the AFC, keep an eye on Lamar Jackson, Colin. They're just starting to round into form.
And they're healthy.
Yeah. Oh, bless you.
J-Mac with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Okay, you know what? It's time to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, it is.
They got a nice win over the Colts yesterday, 27-20 against the mighty Colts. There was some Mike Tomlin voodoo in play. Obviously, you had the punt muff early by the Colts, and then you had Daniel Jones vomiting all over himself. Mike Tomlin was asked about the Pittsburgh defense turning things around, and this is what the man does.
It's a fine line between drinking wine and squashing grapes in this business. It's nothing dramatic. A couple plays here and there that might have been different last week. We don't give up the 59-yard ball, the 33-yard ball. We don't let them convert on 4th and 1 in the flat, for example, in the third quarter. That's football at this level. It's a limited number of plays or sequences that can really change the trajectory of an outcome. We're still the same group that stunk it up last week.
Love that guy.
No, he's right. Really the key has been in their 2 big wins, Colts and New England, they got 11 takeaways. So that's like, I mean, again, you get credit for it, but Drake May is not turning it over that many times when they play again. I think this team comes down to really Aaron Rodgers keeping them upright. They're not running the ball particularly well.
I'll give some props to the Steelers before I puncture your Aaron Rodgers narrative, because I know you're sick. I don't want to hammer you too quickly. So the Steelers defense did have 5 sacks. I saw they have 18 quarterback pressures. They got after Daniel Jones. He looked like New York Giants Daniel Jones, right?
Yes.
We would agree. Just lack of awareness in the pocket. He was terrible. But what I saw from the Colts, when they don't have Jonathan Taylor getting loose.
That's the difference.
Daniel Jones throwing 50 times?
Yeah, no. Daniel Jones, first of all, I'll let Josh Allen throw 50, but even Buffalo has been like, we don't want you. No. I think the magic number to me, the elite guys in the league, I'll let you throw at 35. Most guys in this league are better at 28.
25
yeah, and then
30,
some guys, Jalen Hurts, maybe better at 23. But 50 times on the road with TJ Watt, it's a losing recipe.
So real quick on Aaron Rodgers, okay? The Pittsburgh Steelers offense, Colin, had a whopping 225 yards. They were outgained by about $150, 3.7 yards per play. And how's this stat? Aaron Rodgers attempted 3 passes more than 10 yards down the field. That's it. The whole game. It was basically like, oh my gosh, I'm under pressure because Indy was blitzing all afternoon.
Right.
I'm just dumping it. DK Metcalf was a non-factor. Well, he had 2 catches for 6 yards.
Again, it doesn't bother me much. I don't think they're a deep ball team. I don't. I think they're I think Seattle First of all, Arroyo, the tight end they got, the rookie tight end, that dude runs like a receiver.
Yeah, he's tough.
JSN is an absolute deep threat. How about this other rookie out of Colorado State? I mean, I'm telling you, Seattle, that team,
guys, yeah.
and by the way, Darnold throws a great deep ball, and Darnold, unlike Aaron, is in his athletic prime and can get loose and extend the pocket. Seattle's a deep ball team. Tampa, with Baker Mayfield, he throws a great ball. That is a deep ball team. Not everybody is. I don't think this team is built to throw the deep ball. I think they are a 12-yard and under. I think they need turnovers to win, which is probably going to limit them in the playoffs because the great quarterbacks don't turn it over.
It's not sustainable. It seems like they're built around the tight ends now a lot. The kid Washington, who we love coming out of.
It was a blocking tight end out of Georgia.
I mean, he's like 6'7". 6'7", had to say it. Essentially, they are just like in a box. They play short everything. I just don't think it's sustainable. They were out in those 2 wins over the Patriots and Colts. They were outgained by over 100 yards.
No. The Steelers, they'll go as far as Aaron's going to get them. They're not a multiple playoff win team. There's about 4. I mean, Philadelphia Rams could win multiple playoff games.
I don't know that they're
Buffalo
locked for the playoffs, Colin. I don't. You're sure they're going to the playoffs?
No, I think Baltimore's going to win the division.
I agree. Yeah.
I think Baltimore's style of play is sustainable.
So we have Patriots, Bills, Baltimore, Denver, Chargers.
Oh, yeah. Those
Chiefs.
are all teams capable of winning more than one playoff
And then we've got the Colts. They're in. They're winning their division. What about the Jags? I don't know.
I don't think the Colts, Daniel Jones win 2 playoff games.
I think you got to watch the Chargers. This Joe Alt injury, we'll see. If it's surgery, they could be cooked. And, I love the Chargers. All right, let's move on to the 49ers. We didn't talk a lot about this one. You had this. You nailed it. Niners roll over the Giants. The weird thing is, a lot of people were expecting Brock Purdy to play most of the week. They're like, oh, this will be the week he comes back. They went with Mac Jones. Following the win, Shanahan admitted Purdy wasn't that close to a return. What the?
Nothing changes Mac in that way, and we're trying to ease Brock out there in the practice stuff. But anytime you're dealing with this turf toe, it's something that probably won't fully go away all year. Regardless of when he comes back, he's going to always have to deal with it a little bit. And especially the people you talk to have gone through turf toe. So it's really about just assessing when's the best time to come back that you have to deal with it the least. And it's a little bit of a tricky decision.
I don't think this team is led by the quarterback. I think they're old school. I think they're led by Christian McCaffrey. He had half their yards yesterday.
Problem is,
did you see how many touches he had yesterday?
33 touches in a blowout. What are we doing? I don't love that.
They don't have anything else.
Now, I love him in fantasy. He's on my team. He's really good.
No,
Brian Robinson flashed a little bit. He had a couple nice runs, 53 yards on 5 carries.
I don't care who starts at quarterback. I think Mac and Purdy are a wash. I think Mac throws a better ball. Purdy's more mobile. I think this team is all about McCaffrey. If you go look at, he had the most catches. He had the most rushing. He had the most. It's a McCaffrey-led offense.
So the question is, why are the 49ers not giving us the real story on Brock Purdy? Ricky Pearsall? What is his knee injury? He's been out for 6 weeks. Brandon Ayuk? It's been over a year, Colin. At some point, the league's got to step in and be like, guys, just be truthful. Are they coming back or not? Because I can't make them a Super Bowl team with this unit. By the way, Mikael Williams, the guy they got out of Georgia, the edge rusher, injury sounds like he's done. So their top 3 edge rushers are now.
Well, no, it's before the season, I took the Rams and the Seahawks to make the playoffs, not them. And I said, old and brittle, Seahawks and Rams are young. Niners' age isn't. They've got to have another big draft this year because they've got too many older players they rely on.
They host the Rams this week in a rematch. Rams are favored. I think I saw 2.5 or 3.5 in San Fran.
Rams right now are the better team.
Shanahan,
and the healthier team.
Does own McVay. I know McVay's started to claw back last year, but that's one of the games of the week for sure. Final story, Colin. Let's go to Monday Night Football. There's a lot happening right now. So I wanted to make this about Kyler Murray and could they trade him in the offseason. He seems to be healthy, but it's Jacoby Brissett starting, and all the reporters say, yeah, Kyler Murray will have a role. Your franchise quarterback will have a role. Here's the kicker. About an hour ago, this big story drops. Marvin Harrison Sr., the father of the young receiver on the Cardinals, spoke about the state of the Cardinals. It's very hard for me to watch this offense. I think that's just peacefully put without pointing fingers or anything. I'm giving you the professional eye. I can't deal with it. He basically throws the OC of the Cardinals under the bus for not getting his son the ball. The Kyler Murray out of shotgun every snap. I mean, it is a bad story to drop on game day.
It's been a bad year for smaller quarterbacks. Tua, Kyler Murray,
Brock Purdy.
For the smaller quarterbacks, it's been a rough year.
So give me a minute here on Kyler Murray, and let's say the Cardinals say, we're open for business. We're taking in offers. Is there a market?
I would, dome or warm weather. He's talented. I think the big money is done. The big opportunities are over. I don't think the top teams, but there's always 6 desperate teams, and the college quarterbacks I've watched are all pretty mid. So
would you rather take a shot on the Indiana quarterback, right? Mendoza, who, by the way, is like a genius, went to Cal and
I think people think Mendoza is the guy.
He could be. He doesn't have the wheels of
multiple NFL GMs have been visiting Mendoza.
You got to read this Wall Street Journal story on him. He's doing internships at big time hedge funds and financial services. He's smart. Would you rather roll with him on a rookie deal or Kyler Murray and his baggage?
Mendoza.
Okay, and you apply that to Ty Simpson from Alabama. I know you don't love him. I'm just saying, we could reach a point where they have to go Russell Wilson and just dump him. I don't know. That could be in play, Colin. Who's bending over backwards for Kyler Murray?
Let's see.
Is Miami going to dump Tua to get in bed with him? I don't think so.
Well, Cleveland's drafting a quarterback. The Raiders are drafting a quarterback. The Jets are drafting a quarterback. And
the Saints are drafting a quarterback.
So there's 4 teams.
The Raiders is the one that's interesting. Could they somehow luck their way into 6 wins, have the 10th pick, and Pete Carroll says, I want to win now, give me Kyler Murray in the Dome? But then he's got to go outdoors to Denver and Kansas City.
Your resume in life matters, and his resume is not great. He doesn't study. There's a lot of stories in this league that you and I may hear about. I know I do all the time. I texted 6-7 GMs yesterday. There's a lot of stories in the league about players that doesn't make it public. You don't want to take a shot in a player. I would say Kyler Murray's reputation that doesn't make the airwaves is not good.
Great. Let me just throw out
among executives in this league that don't want to go public. They're not going to tarnish anything. Not fans.
Don't go crazy. I'm just floating it. So Stafford, the last couple off seasons, has been like, maybe I retire. I know it's in the division. Would they kick the tires on Kyler Murray if Stafford walks away after a Super Bowl or something?
Go look at who the Rams draft.
They like big quarterbacks.
Well, they let Jalen Ramsey go. If they think there's any me instead of we, they move off you. It's very much about the room. It is very much about culture with the Rams. They don't have a bad guy in that locker room. It's like they do not talk. And I'm not saying Jalen Ramsey a bad guy. Jalen sometimes was taking risks they didn't like.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, Dolphins are trying to trade Jalen Ramsey right now. You go read about it online.
Well, no, the Steelers.
Sorry, Steelers. Steelers have Jalen Ramsey.
Are they?
Well, Minka Fitzpatrick's on the Dolphins. They're looking to move off him. Sorry. Yeah, I got the two confused.
All right. J-Mac with the news. Well, they are throwing a World Series dynasty parade in Los Angeles. In fact, not only are they throwing the parade today in Los Angeles, but they're already scheduling next year's. They want to be ahead of the curve. So Dave Roberts on top of the bust. We have some video for the less fortunate baseball fans to growl over the Los Angeles Dodgers, back-to-back World Series champs. Got Rams championships, Lakers championships, back-to-back Dodgers championships. And now somebody who's been a tad less fortunate with his teams, Danny Parkins, joining us from New York, co-host First Things First. But here's the good news. You can count on one hand in the last decade the times a Bears fan could say, I love our offense, and what a mess in Green Bay. You must love that Cincinnati game, I'll be honest. Now I get Ben Johnson's tricks, Caleb's not being sacked. They're starting to look like a functional operation, are they not?
They definitely are. Thank you for that intro, I think. I think there was a compliment wrapped up in there somewhere. Literally, Colin, in my life, the Bears, when they have allowed 35 or more, they have not won a football game since I turned 22. October of 2008 was the last time the Bears won a game where they allowed 35 or more, and that was the first time in the history of their franchise they won a game allowing 42 or more. So quite literally, I've never seen a game like Sunday. And yes, a huge piece of that is the Bengals defense and the Bengals defense without Trey Hendrickson and the Bengals defense looking like they've quit on the season. But I don't care. Caleb Williams was clutch. Ben Johnson was in his bag. They were electric. They were exciting. And we can zoom out if you want beyond that game. Caleb Williams is good, and he is improving. And at this point, I think that's undeniable.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to some NFL people yesterday, and they're like, listen, we still like Ben more than Caleb. But the one thing I've always defended Caleb on, high school, college, and pros, he doesn't throw interceptions. He just doesn't. And a lot of great quarterbacks like Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck do. So now he'll hold the ball. Some of that maybe he's so gifted, he's like, I'm not going to throw it, I'm going to run it. Are you satisfied with playing within structure? We both know he's got a ton of horsepower, but do you see growth?
Undeniably. I think that it would have been nice if Ben Johnson was there for him as a rookie, but he wasn't. You know, he had to go through firing Matt Eberflus and firing Shane Waldron and the whole fiasco of last year. But they upgraded the offensive line. They upgraded his weapons. They upgraded his coach, who happened to also be his play caller. And he's seeing growth. You mentioned the sacks. He has, 14 sacks taken in 8 weeks? He took 68 sacks last year. I don't need to give you anything else beyond that, and it's improvement. And all of the plays that he made are not the crazy spin around backwards, laser arm type of things. Some of them are. He still has that, but it's like a baseball pitcher. You want to work off of your fastball. For a quarterback, the fastball is playing in structure, playing in an offense, playing on time. Caleb's getting better at that. And then he has the ability to do those other things. It's going around social media now. You go watch the all-22 version of that throw to Loveland that ended up being the game-winning touchdown. It looked open on the TV broadcast. It wasn't. Yeah. That is a needle throw with 3 defenders around Colston Loveland that he throws on the back shoulder intentionally, because if he leads him, he's leading it into a safety. Caleb's a gamer. That's his 3rd come-from-behind drive in the 4th quarter in his last 5 games. So is he perfect or a finished product? Far from it. But he's really talented, and he's getting better week by week.
So I was saying this, watching the Chiefs last night, there is a way to beat Mahomes. When he's uncomfortable, a couple Super Bowl blowout losses. Last night he gets hit 15 times. Now, Josh Simmons is back in the facility, left tackle. He'd been out for personal reasons. That's a big deal. But my take was, strangely, maybe, I said, Buffalo dominates time of possession, perfect in the red zone, hit Mahomes 15 times. From beginning to end, the better team. And Mahomes had the ball going for the tying touchdown. I know Kansas City's 5-4. That's not what the score should have been. Am I being too anti-Buffalo? I think they need another receiver, a defensive lineman. Guys, it can't be 28-21. When I look at the box score, it looks like 35-13.
Listen, McDermott choosing to kick that field goal at the end of the game is so insane and indefensible. Pooch, punt it down. What are you doing? I have no that is an inexplicable decision that made that game feel even more parallel. Mahomes getting 2 chances at the end zone at the end is crazy embarrassing for McDermott and game management. But I don't love the analysis that people seem to have boxed us into, where it's well, the Bills need to prove they can beat the Chiefs in January. So the Bills beating the Chiefs in November means nothing. Then why did I watch? Then why do I spend 3.5 hours watching? Because right now, if the season ended, the Chiefs would not be in the playoffs. Denver won again. The Chargers won again. The Chiefs are in 3rd place. Do I think they're better than those teams? Of course I do. Do I understand why they get the benefit of the doubt? Of course. I give it to them all the time. They were number 1 on my top 10 teams list heading into this game. But Buffalo was number 3. Buffalo also, to me, deserved benefit of the doubt from that 2-game blip. And if you're struggling to give credit to Buffalo, give it to their defense. Because coming into that game, it was the worst rush defense that McDermott had ever had. And even though their pass numbers were pretty good, Drake May carved them up and Lamar Jackson carved them up. There was an expectation that the Chiefs were going to be able to get whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. They had scored 28 or more in 5 straight games, and the Bills held Patrick Mahomes to the worst completion percentage game of his career, the 3rd worst passer rating game of his career, and held the Chiefs to 21 points. That Bills defense, I thought, made the statement of the weekend.
So you're a baseball fan and a Cubs fan, and you know the sport very well. And I've said is that it's not just about money, because Steve Cohen has more money than anybody. If you look at the NFL, the New York teams are terrible. Green Bay is always viable. So, and those New York teams have massive game day revenue. It's always been about how do you spend the money. Plenty of rich people are broke 10 years later. So I look at the Dodgers, I look at it and I think Miggy Rojas, the outfielder. I mean, yes, they went and spent on Yoshi. There's no denying that. But there is a quality to this team that they have, your Will Smith and old, Rojas and the center fielder making a catch in left as a late replacement. They do a lot of that stuff. I've said before, it's the best run organization in any city I've ever lived in. They let go of Corey Seager. They let go of Trey Turner. I mean, Corey Seager's the best. I think he's the best Rangers player. Trey Turner won the National League crown. They let Manny Machado walk. They let Zach Greinke go. Like, they don't sign everybody. They sign the right guys. How do you view, Milwaukee's a great example. Lost their manager and GM. They got better. There is something about culture. How do you, because Ricketts has money in Chicago, but a smaller game day revenue with the stadium. How do you view the Dodgers and their money and wealth?
Well, it's a combination of things, right? Two things can be true. They have the best local TV deal in sports, so they have the most revenue in the sport, which is a competitive advantage that they also take advantage of really well. Andrew Friedman is arguably, and maybe inarguably now, the best executive in the game. He could do it with no budget, and then he has the best budget. The Dodgers are the best of both worlds, to your point. They develop a great farm system, and they sign the top-end talent. So they're the best organization that happens to have the most resources in all of baseball. I just thought, baseball is so great at moments. It's so great at drama. The 162 can be mundane at times because we struggle to attach any sort of significance to one game. But these playoffs were great. And the fact that Yamamoto can have the complete game in Game 2, have a good game in Game 6, and then come back in Game 7 and do what he did, it's on the short list. I'd put it right there with Madison Bumgarner in 2014. Bumgarner threw a 24 innings, one Game 1, one Game 5, and then had a 5-inning save in Game 7 with a .4 ERA. It's one of the great World Series pitching performances in the history of the sport. And I don't know how you ever recover from it if you're a Blue Jays fan. You have the 18-inning game, you got outfielders colliding with each other, you got to play at the plate that you need the Zapruder film to analyze. Vlad, you could have thought the ball was gone off the bat. The double play to end it with Game 6. It was just losing Game 6 and Game 7 at home. Just absolutely sick for Blue Jays fans. And then the Dodgers, as the best run organization in the sport, gets to keep the trophy.
Yeah. Circling back, I'm not saying you're tickled by it, but it is rare when the Bears offense is fourth in the league and the Packers are completely lost.
I'm tickled by it.
I said it earlier. They have no identity. I have no idea what the offense is. If you watch the Bears most, you watch the Packers second. I can't figure out what they are offensively. It's hard to create an identity. They have lost theirs. What are they?
Yeah, the running game is not what it was last year, which is a weird thing given Matt LaFleur and how much he wants to run the ball. Jacobs has just not been as effective this year. Jordan Love is very, very good, clearly. And I do find that very annoying that Packers fans get to go from Favre to Rodgers to Love. I feel like they deserve 20 years of Mitch Trubisky, but I'll remove my biases from it. But Jordan Love still makes inexplicable throws. The interception against Cleveland lost him a game. It was terrible. His interception against Cincinnati in the red zone took points off the board. Interception in this spot was bad. Should have thrown a pick 6 where he rolled left, brought the whole defense left, threw it right. I knew Dobbs was out the back of the end zone. McManus, their kicker's getting booed at home. They can't stop the run. They were the 1 seed heading into the week, and I still don't really think they're all that good. They're good. They're talented. They'll probably make the playoffs, but I think they're just good enough to make a crucial mistake the divisional round of the playoffs, and I just can't get all the way there yet on Jordan Love.
How'd your picks do this weekend?
Colin, aren't we out of time yet? I went 1-2. It's very frustrating. I go 3-0, then I go 1-2, and then I go 2-1, and then I go 0-3. I just can't seem to get any margin for error between me and 500 this year. It's very frustrating, but I'm still beating Nick Wright, which is really what matters.
Frankly, we're all happy about that. That's a company
me too.
Referendum. Beat Nick Wright. Absolutely. Danny Parkins, great seeing you, bud.
Congrats on the Hall of Fame, Colin. No one more deserving.
Oh, thank you so much, Danny. I appreciate that. And I shook a lot of hands, and because of it, I'm sick. But I'm fine. We're going to do okay here. I have been knocking down that turmeric and...
Weren't you pivoting to fist bumps after COVID? Didn't you stop shaking hands and start fist bumping?
My wife predicted it. She said, you're going to get sick. She said, you just wiped your nose.
No.
Somebody shook your hand. It's whatever. Who cares? I'm telling you, you and I last night watching Seattle.
Impressive.
It really, and the other thing people forget, I watched Arch Manning this weekend. He was very good. People are like, well, I mean, he wasn't good early. You have to remember college football seasons now, J-Mac, can be 14 games. It used to be college football is 11 games. Now it's like 14.
But the thing about Seattle, so they win 10 games last year. And they decide, we don't like where we're going. We don't like the trajectory. Let's trade our quarterback, right? They get rid of Geno Smith. And let's get off DK Metcalf. And they're better, Colin.
And
That's
Tyler
pretty
Lockett.
impressive. So Minnesota won a lot of games last year with Darnold. And they decided, we're going to change it up. And it's not going as smoothly.
Well, I think these decisions are hard. I think Seattle liked DK Metcalf, but he had been a bit high maintenance. And also, you have to remember, they had seen JSN the year before. They get to see practice.
Yeah.
A lot of these organizations, they get stuff that we don't see. So you're like, oh, is JSN a 1? Well, John Snyder and his staff clearly in the offseason said he was great as a rookie. He's a 1, so we can move off him. So we, as much homework as you and I do, we're not watching Seahawk practice film. So Seattle obviously saw JSN and went, oh, this kid is inches away. If we could get him a better deep ball thrower and a better quarterback, and Darnold's better than Geno Smith.
And they're featuring him more this year as opposed to last year. So remember, in the NBA, Kentucky guards pop in the NBA. Ohio State receivers, Ibuka. I mean, he looks like a nickel number 1.
Oh,
right?
no, those guys, and they got 2 of them this year.
Yeah.
They have 2 other receivers. That Harrison at Arizona has been the disappointment. Everybody else has over-delivered at Ohio State. Listen, just because we have better weather, all our teams win championships, and people are handsome and tan year-round, is no reason to hate Los Angeles. 26 million people minimum watch the World Series. The final rating comes in tomorrow. My guess is it's 27 or 28 million. Just everybody doesn't like the rich guy, right? For the record, the Mets, Phillies, and Yankees are just shy of $1 billion of payroll this year. They won a combined 1 playoff series. The Mets, Phillies, and Yankees. There's a lot of teams spending money. For all those that get worked up about the Dodgers' money, it was 36-year-old, 0-time All-Star on retirement's door, Miguel Rojas, Game 7, 9th inning, that actually saved the season. Here it is.
Payoff. Drilled to left field and deep and gone! No way! Miguel Rojas! Dave Roberts played his gut. The guy hadn't had a hit in a month. And in the 9th inning of Game 7, he's hit a tying home run.
Also made a key defensive play. Again, Miggy's on the doorstep of retirement. And Dave Roberts pulled the right lever. Oh, there's also defensive replacement Andy Pajes. This happened. Take a watch.
Fly ball to left field. Hernandez on the run with Pajes over his head. Pajes runs him over, makes the catch, sends Game 7 to the 10th. Incredible. Andy Pajes fresh into the ball games.
Center fielder makes the play of the night in left field. Just absolutely unbelievable. We're not done. Will Smith, who caught 73 innings in the World Series, including all of the 18-inning game, he did this.
Smith, it's a high fly ball to deep left field. It's got a chance. It is gone. It's Will Smith in Game 7. And in the 11th inning of Game 7, the Dodgers lead for the first time.
Will Smith, Miguel Rojas, Andy Pajes. Yes, Yoshi's the best pitcher in baseball. But when the Yankees were dominating, they had Clemens and Cone and the great Andy Pettitte and all-stars. They were winning the Hot Stove League. For the record, Rojas is the 14th highest player on the team. They moved Will Smith up in the batting order. Dave Roberts made all the right moves. For the record, the Dodgers won Game 6. Why? Due to a bad base running mistake by the Jays. And they beat the Phillies on a walk-off error by Philadelphia. So, yes, the Dodgers, like a great football team, if you fumble, they'll score. All right? You airball it, they'll take it to the other end of the floor and dunk on you. You can't make mistakes, but the Dodgers don't make many. Here's Dave Roberts after back-to-back World Series crowns.
Right now, I'm just really elated and really proud of our team, our guys, the way we fought. And we've done something that hasn't been done in decades. And, you know, there were so many, as we talked earlier, so many pressure points and how that game could have flipped. And we just kept fighting. And, you know, guys stepped up big. So I could just go on and on about, you know, the big plays, the big performances. And, you know, this is one of the greatest games I've ever been a part of. And this whole series and what the Blue Jays did, and they gave us everything they had, and just such a first-class organization.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto out-hit the Dodgers, but the Dodgers out-pitched them, and in crucial situations, the Dodgers were the better team. They were the better base-running team. They were the better defensive team in crucial situations. That's all these playoff series come down to. Great hitting is going to beat great pitching will beat great hitting, and the Dodgers had the best pitcher easily. You go back and look at all those, you know, Jeter and Posada and Bernie. No, it was Mariano Rivera closing out games, and the starting pitching for the Yankees was fantastic. I mean, last year, when Garrett Cole pitched against the Dodgers, Yankees looked like as good or the better team. So, yes, they made a big bid on Yoshi. Several teams did. I said it last week. He paid for himself and then some. In the World Series alone, Yoshi is 4-0. He is more than paid for himself, and you get what you pay for. You know, it's funny about this. Every single Major League Baseball owner, as far as I can tell, is a billionaire. The Steinbrenners are billionaires. Steve Cohen's a billionaire. They're all billionaires. So, and the Dodgers owners are billionaires. But the reason the Dodgers can spend more money is because they lead Major League Baseball attendance by, I think it's like 6,000 to 7,000 per game. And the reason they lead Major League Baseball in attendance is because they're so well run. Yeah, they've got money. LA's not as big as New York. Chicago's almost as big. They spend their money wisely. They defer payments. Everybody could defer payments. The Dodgers chose to defer payments. My favorite part of this team, though, is Miguel Rojas, old guy, never been an all-star. Will Smith, most innings caught in a World Series. Andy Pages, the outfielder. I mean, who makes it, you know, mid-inning replacement? And Clayton Kershaw touched on just the unity beyond the money inside this organization.
I love that guy, man. He's just a gamer. He's got all the talent in the world, but, I mean, for him to step up and do this tonight for us, like, I mean, all these guys, Shohei on short rest, Blake Snell coming in, Yama, relievers, just, I mean, it was, this whole group, man, is just, I'm just so grateful and honored to be a part of this team. Like, you can talk about how much money the Dodgers spend all you want, but that group of guys is a lot more than how much money they make. It's a special group, man. It really is. And Shohei, Freddie, Mookie, Will Smith with the whole, like Miggy Rojas. I mean, like, you can just go down the list. So I'm just grateful, man, and honored, and what a way to end it, you know?
I mean, go look at the rich. Minnesota Twins used to have one of the richest owners, okay? They're all billionaires. The Pirates owners, you know, they don't want to spend that money. Now, do the Dodgers have massive game day revenue? Of course they do. Yes, I mean, that's, of course the Dodgers do. But I think lost in all of this is this constant need to say, well, it's about the money. Well, the Yankees always had money, but there was a tour de force in George Steinbrenner that would he added pressure to the organization. You go back to those Yankee teams. They were winning the Hot Stove League. They had great players, but they had Scott Brocious from McMinnville, Oregon, making plays. And that's really the essence of this. I thought one of the things that was fascinating is when Roki is one of their great young pitchers, 23-year-old star from Japan. And they asked him this year, hey, can you help us out in the bullpen? And without pausing, he's like, absolutely. Some of those teams, you ask guys to hit to the bullpen, They think it's a second-class citizen. They're not going to the bullpen. So what's remarkable about the Dodgers is that everybody buys in, despite all the salaries. And, these Japanese stars, over in Japan, it's a rock concert. So it's like SEC football. They come in. They are ready for the moment. They are superstars in Japan. And Japanese baseball's, I've read for years, it's a high AAA. It's better than our AAA. But the attendance and the fandom is like Major League Baseball. It's like SEC football is not the NFL or Big Ten football, but there's vibes, there's stadiums, there's athletes that will play in the NFL. And I just think overall, the part about the Dodgers, I mean, some of these levers that Dave Rodgers pulled, mid-inning replacements, Miguel Rojas, I mean, just remarkable stuff. A center fielder making a catch in left field. Rojas here, this series, it was so close to being the Blue Jays. And people say it's the best World Series ever. When I was a kid, there was a World Series in the mid-'70s that was the Red Sox. It's the legendary Carlton Fisk home run at Fenway off Pat Darcy. And those Cincinnati Reds teams that had Bench and Perez and Rose and Dave Concepcion. It was a mid-'70s World Series. And that's when baseball was bigger than the NFL. So that one feels that it's just Sparky Anderson was the manager for the Reds. He was a star. You'd have managers chain smoking. It was just a different world. That felt like the biggest World Series of my life. But I'll say a lot of times networks don't care who win these World Series. Networks want Game 7. I'm not going to speak for management here. We generally love Game 7s. It doesn't matter what it's in. But I thought the Canadian fans were amazing. I thought the Blue Jays out-hit the Dodgers. Some of their guys, it was like beer league averages, but I think the Dodgers had the world's greatest pitcher, and pitching always beats hitting, and the Dodgers had Yoshi. But as a collective, these Dodger teams do remind me of a less intense version of the Yankees. We don't have a Steinbrenner out here. Nobody talks. You don't see the Dodgers owner. It's very research and development. Andrew Friedman. It's a very smart franchise. They don't make a lot of mistakes. By the way, they let Trey Turner go. They let Corey Seager go. They didn't sign Manny Machado. They've let a lot of guys go. This idea they buy Trey Turner, great player. Didn't he win the National League batting crown? Trey Turner, let him go. Corey Seager, great player. Let him go. Manny Machado, see ya. Zach Greinke. They don't sign every big guy. They got Max Muncy, who got cut by the A's. So they do Miguel Rojas. It's not like multiple bidders on that. So, they did do a lot well. And yes, they're well capitalized.